Dear students and parents, welcome to this presentation session by Dabad Academy. In today's video, we will explain in detail about syllabus for All India Sainik School Entrance Exam Class 9th admission, in which we will cover all the aspects of syllabus, including the mark scheme, the subjects, the topics from which the questions are most likely to be asked. Now, in the description box, the PDF of Sainik School Class 9 syllabus is available. It is also available in the Dabad Academy Telegram group. So please make sure when you finish watching this video, you just go through the description box और डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में जो भी मौजूद लिंक्स हैं आप उनको चेकआउट कीजिए. तो एज वी रिसेंटली एक्सप्लेन इन क्लास 9th syllabus video, the same logic applies to this video also, that there are two aspects which you need to understand to grasp the syllabus really well. The first one is what is the mark scheme, and the second is the individual contribution of topics in the final entrance exam. Now, before we start the video, just have a momentary look at the video which is going to be played on your screens. If you are preparing for class 9th entry of All India Sainik School Entrance Exam, then you must download Sainik School Credit app and practice 20 most important questions per day in test of the day section. Hundreds of students are practicing these questions every day. If you are more serious, then you can check out courses available in the courses section. Now let's move ahead with understanding the mark scheme of class 9th admission in All India Sainik Schools. Have a look at the screen. In class 9th entry of All India Sainik School Entrance Exam, there are basically 5 sections. So they are given in a particular order. In section A, we have mathematics, which contains 50 questions, 4 marks each, totaling to 200 marks. Whereas in section B, we have intelligence, which is also another name for reasoning portion. We have 25 questions. The same number of 25 questions are asked in class 6 admission also. What 2 marks is, so the total marks is 50. In English, we have another 25 questions, 2 marks, 50 questions marks in total. Then we have general science. In case of class 6 admission, you just have a clubbing of general knowledge portion, which I explained in the previous video. आपका clubbing होता है, but in case of class 9th admission, general science is a separate subject and good quality questions are asked. So 25 questions, what 2 marks each. In totality, we have 50 marks for general science. Then in social science, we have another 25 questions. The benchmarking for syllabus of general science and social science is your grade 7 and grade 8 social science books as well as general science books. तो अगर उसमें अगर मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस को अगर आप अच्छे से कर लेते हैं, देन यू कैन अज्यूम कि आपका प्रैक्टिस अच्छा हो गया है. तो द टोटल वेटेज ऑफ द दिस एंट्रेंस एग्जाम इज 400 मार्क्स और आपके टोटल क्वेश्चन जो होते हैं दे आर 150. नाउ वी विल मूव हेड विद अंडरस्टैंडिंग द सिलेबस ऑफ सेक्शन ए, विच इज मैथमेटिक्स. So when we refer to the syllabus of mathematics, which is reflecting on your screens, is recommended by the National Testing Agency, which is conducting body for All India Sainik School Entrance Exam. The acronym for All India Sainik School Entrance Exam is AISSEE, which will be 2024 for this one. So for mathematics, we have in totality 29 chapters. So what we do is to just make the entire syllabus more efficient. In Dabad Academy books, जो हमारा कंटेंट है बच्चों के लिए, जो एग्जाम के लिए हम लोग एग्जाम के लिए जो बुक्स प्रिपेयर करते हैं, उसमें पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर्स जो नेबरहुड में है या फिर एक दूसरे के साथ बहुत ही क्लोजली रिलेटेड है, उनको क्लब कर एक ही चैप्टर बना दिया जाता है. सो इन प्रैक्टिस देयर इज नॉट मच ऑफ ए पॉसिबिलिटी कि आपके पास 29 चैप्टर्स ही हों, बट फॉर द सेक ऑफ क्लैरिटी आई विल जस्ट रीड आउट all of them for you. So we'll start with rational numbers, which is part of number system. Then we have linear equations in one variable, which is part of algebra. Understanding quadrilaterals, it can be considered part of, okay, quadrilaterals is separate. Then data handling, bar graph and line graph. We also have pie chart. So this chapter is closely associated with data handling. Pie chart is also a topic related to data handling. Then we have square and square roots and cube roots. Again, topic number 5 and topic number 6, they can be covered in one chapter, which is square and cube of a number. You can write it as square and cube of a number. Okay, good quality questions, especially related to, and you have this probably, let us suppose 25 and power raised to 1 by 3. So certain questions related to the one I have written are asked. Then we are comparing quantities, which is percentage, profit and loss. Then algebraic expressions, identities. So chapter number 2 can be basically clubbed with this topic number 8. Then we have area of closed figures, then volume and surface area of certain figures, then exponents and powers. Exponents and powers is a superset of square and cube of a number. So we can also call it surds and indices. Okay? We can call it surds and indices. Playing with numbers is again a sub part of number system. Visualizing solid shapes, Visualizing solid shapes में you have to basically cover whenever it is feasible the area and perimeter of those figures, and again volume and surface area of 2D and 3D figures, whatever the examiner says. Then you have triangles, Pythagoras theorem and its applications in case of an equilateral triangle, right angle triangle. Then you have Euler's formula. Okay. Then you have average, median and mode. These are basically data based questions in which you have to find, you will be given probably organized and disorganized data, जिसमें से आपको you have to find mode, median and average for those. Average in itself is a separate chapter completely. Then you have probability, great but easy chapter. Direct and inverse proportions is part of unitary method. In unitary method you have direct variations and inverse variations, which can also be termed as inverse proportions. Then moving forward, we have factorization. Factorization is one of the factorization of numbers and factorization of probably equations, splitting the middle term in the two parts. आपके पास जो portion होता है, we teach at Dabad Academy, we teach in linear equations in one variable. Also we have algebraic expressions and identities में ये साथ में cover करवा दिया जाता है. Then introduction to graph is part of probably pie charts के साथ करवा दिया जाता है. Then unitary method I have already mentioned. Divisibility exam basically is related to division theorem. So in case of division theorem, it is a sub part of number system. So while you are teaching kids number system, अगर आप बच्चे के अपने आप खुद प्रिपरेशन करवा रहे हैं तो डिवीजन थ्योरम आप नंबर सिस्टम के साथ ही बच्चे कवर कर दीजिए. Then you have again triangles, angle sum property, parallel lines is part of geometry, simple interest and compound interest. Good quality 3 to 4 questions are likely to be asked. It is not sure, 100% sure नहीं है, but whenever feasible they try to give 3 to 4 questions from SI and CI. Then you have time and work, really good quality questions. A little bit of challenging problems time and work से दी जाती हैं. Then area and perimeter of circles, algebraic expressions using V-board mass. ठीक है. So these 29 topics constitute or make up the syllabus, the scope of the questions, from which 50 questions for your class 9th admission are asked. Now if you are looking for resources to the point, segregated including PYQs, which basically expands to previous year questions, अगर आप देख रहे हैं तो please check out study material resources in Sainik School Credit app. उसमें जो भी resources हैं they are fine tuned. You can assume कि बहुत ही अच्छे से prepare किया हुआ है, तो वो आपके लिए काफ़ी helpful रहेगा. Now moving to the next one. The next topic is of reasoning syllabus. From reasoning we have 25 questions which are asked in exam. What 2 marks is? So the total scope for the reasoning portion is reasoning is intelligence is 50 marks. If you have watched our video which was about class 6th admission entrance syllabus, then you might start recognizing the pattern that all the 16 chapters which were covered in class 6th admission, the same pattern, the same questions, the same chapters are covered in class 9th entrance exam test also for the syllabus. Now I'll quickly read them out. Analogy, classification, series, coding, decoding, logical sequence of arranging words to make meaningful order. Then we have mathematical operations, which is again board mass. Blood relation, good quality questions are asked. Direction sense, logical Venn diagram, clock and calendar, sitting arrangement, non-verbal analogy, non-verbal classification, series and images. अगर आपको to the point, अगर आप course या फिर study material अगर आप देख रहे हैं, we have recently launched online live classes also for crash course of reasoning syllabus, and we have also a very affordable book available in the Sainik School Credit app. Courses में available है. आप quality of questions के लिए उसमें probably first 2 chapters I believe are free of cost, तो आप उनको check out कर सकते हैं. For the next subject we have English. In English, National Testing Agency recommends total 32 chapters from which the questions are likely to be asked. Now have a quick look at all the chapters. Again, these are written in quite expanded forms. Okay, so there is a possibility कि ये chapters 2 to 3 topics. So there is a word which is topic and there is a separate word which is chapter. Okay, so topics is subset of chapter. So there is a possibility that might be, for example, topic number 3 antonyms, topic number 4 synonym is part of one single chapter. ठीक है, तो don't get disheartened कि इतने सारा करना पड़ेगा. No, don't have to cover so much. ठीक है, so spotting the errors in a sentence, comprehension passage, it is part of every single exam. Then you have antonyms and synonyms, preposition, articles, verbs and types of verbs, various tenses, narration, voices, models, confusing words, subject verb arrangement. Then you have find following is the correct spelling out of the given 4 options. Order of words in a sentence, jumble words, idioms and phrases, Then you have sentence improvement. Sometimes they do ask questions from this one, but often they do not. Then change of sentence as directed, passive. पैसिव वॉइस में कन्वर्ट करना है या सिमिलर रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस इसमें आते हैं. देन यू हैव सेंटेंस फॉर्मेशन, टाइप्स ऑफ सेंटेंसेस, ऑल दिस पार्ट ऑफ both of these topics are part of chapter sentence. Then phrases and clause, nouns, kinds of nouns, adjective, interjection, question tags, adverbs, conjunctions, conditions, comparison of adverbs, personal pronoun, various kinds of pronouns are there. Then you have change of gender and then change of number. So these 32 topics constitute the syllabus for class 9th admission English part. Now next we shall move on to covering the syllabus of general science portion. In general science portion, as you can see on your screens, in totality we have 25 topics. These are not chapters, these are topics from which questions are likely to be asked. So fossil fuels, coal and petroleum, basic questions are asked. Then combustion and flame, good quality questions, different colors of flames are there. So if you go through previous year exam papers, so उसके अंदर भी आपको बहुत ही एक अच्छा हिंट मिल जाता है. अगर आप बड़े ही कीन हैं समझने के लिए, पैटर्न को निकालने के लिए आप उत्सुक हैं कि किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस कैसे पूछे जाते हैं, तो प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस बहुत ही एक वेल्दी सोर्स होते हैं समझने के लिए एग्जाम को. देन यू हैव सेल स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन, गुड. देन वी हैव क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम रिप्रोडक्शन इन प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स, क्वेश्चंस, good quality questions on force, friction and pressure also. So questions from sounds and its basics. What is the SI unit of, so we have dB, SI unit of sound, reflection and dispersion of light, refraction, rarefaction. Then we have metals and non-metals questions, synthetic fibers, types of fibers and plastics, chemical effects of electric current से questions आते हैं आपके पास. Then stars and solar system, pollution of air and water, global warming. The scope is rather quite expanded. We have topic number 14, microorganisms. So next one is some natural phenomenon, how to find calorific value of heat, what is the basic meaning of calorific value, this is something that you need to cover. Then you have electroplating and artificial jewelry, relation between different types of frictions. Okay, there we have basically 3 to 4 types of frictions, but types of frictions is usually taught in class 11th, but very basic idea of different types of frictions needs to be taught to kids to prepare for this exam. And you have agriculture practices, conservation of plants and animals, biosphere reserves, national parks and sanctuaries. These national parks, sanctuaries and their location is also covered in the social science portion. So this is a complementary topic. Reaching the age of adolescence, so we have these two are clubbed together, various hormones, which particular gland is responsible for release of which particular hormone, so that is covered here. Then we have endocrine glands and the hormones which are released by endocrine glands. So that sums up the scope of all the topics from general science portion. Now moving to the next subject, we have social science. So social science is basically composed of 3 particular subcomponents. The first one is geography, then we have history, and then we have political science. Okay, let me write down them for you. So now what you need to do is to make sense of the syllabus, and then you have all science. So to make sense of syllabus, what you need to do is from the link which is available in the description box, आप इनका print out कर लीजिए. Then although I am not going to do it for you, but what you have to do is, suppose we have a revolt of 1857, you just write down HIS, ठीक है, so that you are able to like really extract out कि हिस्ट्री के टोटल आपके पास आउट ऑफ दीज 38 चैप्टर्स कितने चैप्टर्स आपके पास हिस्ट्री से हैं, हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम आर फ्रॉम ज्योग्राफी, हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम आर फ्रॉम पोल साइंस. व्हेन यू सेग्रीगेट आउट ऑल द टॉपिक्स, तो आपके पास एक प्रॉपर प्लानिंग आ जाती है ऑन पेपर कि कितने टॉपिक्स आपके अच्छे से कवर हो चुके हैं और कितने में आपको हेल्प लेना है अपने टीचर्स का या फिर जो भी आपके इंस्ट्रक्टर्स हैं. सो वी हैव दिस वन इज फ्रॉम हिस्ट्री, revolt of 1857, name of freedom fighters and important historical figures during our independence struggle. So again history, important freedom movements, we have probably less than 10 freedom movements. What was the place where they started, who are the main leaders, ये आपको cover करना होता है. Then social and caste reforms and the people who started these reforms. Then resources and sustainable development, probably it is from geography. Then we have rock cycle of water cycle probably. And pressure and wind systems, land, soil and water resources, as you can predict, these are all from geography. Indian constitution is from pol science. And secularism, this is what you need to cover. Then you have importance of parliament, types of agriculture. ठीक है, I hope this is making sense. आपको इनको segregate करना है. Types of government and differentiators of government, understanding markets, elections, role of government in health, Delhi Sultanate, Mughals, Bhakti and Sufi movements, and the people who were mainly contributing to Bhakti and Sufi movement. ठीक है, ये किसी भी इंडिया में किसी भी गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम में these questions are likely to be asked. अगर आप देखेंगे तो थोड़ा सा मॉडिफिकेशन होता है, बट अप अंटिल आफ्टर ग्रेजुएशन जो आपके CDS या फिर FCAT के एग्जाम्स होते हैं, नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी के जो एग्जाम्स होते हैं, विच एवर इज रिलेटेड टू डिफेंस सर्विसेज, उनमें सभी में ये कवर होते हैं. देन यू हैव इंटीरियर ऑफ अर्थ, climate change, earthquake and major landforms, types of rainfall, major grasslands. Then you have different types of forest. Based on which particular continent we are referring to, we have different types of grasslands and forest with the geography. Okay. So then you have means of transports, communication, life in desert, panchayat system. So life in desert, you have to be very creative as a teacher to make kids understand कि what is the scope of questions being asked, because on the face of it life in deserts is like कि आप 5 मिनट बात करेंगे and then you are done with the topic, but आपको उसमें से questions निकालने पड़ेंगे कि what is the possibility, what sort of questions can be asked. Then you have local self government. So local self government is something which was really advocated by Mahatma Gandhi, and you need to prepare for it. Then you have law and social justice. Then we have judiciary and criminal justice system, and probably the reforms in criminal justice system. You need to probably remember the various articles of Indian Constitution. Then you have marginalization, public facilities, natural vegetation and wildlife, industries. The second last is human resources, and the 38th is changes in the art. All right. So as you might have observed, or there is a possibility that you might not have observed, that we don't have questions from current affairs. Okay. So I covered this in class 6 syllabus video also, that questions from current affairs कि पिछले एक साल में क्या क्या हुआ है उसको current affairs बोलते हैं. Those questions are not asked in Sainik School entrance exam. Those questions are asked in Rashtra Military School entrance exam. So I hope that would be a good differentiator to start. Now, at the end, if you have some queries, you have some questions, please make sure you ask them in the comment box. Thank you so much for giving your time. And before leaving, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and we will connect in the next video.